And at number 10, Blac, Chyna, and Rob Kardashian. This has to be one of the messiest celebrity relationships ever. Literally every aspect of it. Things were strange from the very beginning because there was a familial connection. Chyna and Teigen had been married and had a child together, but Teigen left Chyna for Kylie Jenner, Rob's half-sister. Immediately, the Kardashians thought that Chyna pursued Rob for the wrong reasons, but over time they got used to the relationship and even supported it. When the couple got pregnant, the Kardashians were in full support, until the relationship started to become incredibly toxic and things turned ugly. Both Rob and Chyna posted private conversations and photos of one another on the internet, and the pair are now in a massive legal battle. Chyna actually sued the entire Kardashian family for allegedly kicking her off the show. And at number 10, Machine Gun Kelly and Megan Fox. If you didn't already know, this couple met on the set of a movie called Midnight in the Switchgrass, as they co-starred in the film. And even though the film is responsible for their relationship, the couple hasn't been saying the greatest things about it. On the day of the movie premiere for the film, MGK tweeted out, quote, "If I don't talk or tweet about a movie I'm barely in, it's because it's trash emoji." Apparently Kelly has not posted about the movie at all ahead of its much anticipated release. Megan Fox also skipped out on the premiere. Her reps told People, quote, "Due to the recent California mask mandate and the rise of COVID cases, Megan Fox will no longer be attending the premiere tonight." However, I doubt both stars missing the premiere of the movie is a coincidence. Beginning our countdown, number 10 is Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. For the majority of their relationship, they were Hollywood's it couple. This was until photos started surfacing of them causing a scene in front of their children and other families at Legoland. They were enjoying a family day at the park when onlookers spotted them having an argument and started taking pictures and videos. You could see Brad grab Angelina's arm before she ripped her arm free and started yelling in his face. The argument must have been pretty intense because witnesses were saying that they later bumped into them, like later on in the day, and they were still arguing. The picture surfaced just one day after news broke that they were divorcing, so that didn't really help their case. Apparently though, the pictures were actually a year old at the point that they came out, but you know how the media will spin it. It just so happened to be the time that they got divorced. Up next, number 9 is Scott Disick and Kourtney Kardashian. People saw a fair share of their arguments on Keeping Up with the Kardashians, which was enough for some to agree that they went too far. They argued a lot due to Scott's alcohol addiction, and their on and off relationship seemed more toxic than anything else at times. Paparazzi caught one of their fights while they were having lunch in Miami. Scott was seen waving his hands in the air and getting angry to a point where they ended up leaving the restaurant. An insider who was close to Scott revealed that he was on a downward spiral during that time, and they were arguing because Khloe, Kourtney's sister, stepped in to tell her that he had been drinking again. Starting us off at number 10 is Pete Davidson and Ariana Grande. Their relationship was a whirlwind and lasted less than 6 months total. Many people said they were taking things too far when they announced their engagement shortly after they started dating back in May 2018. Reports say it was exactly 24 days after they started officially dating. They were over the top with their engagement in the media, flaunting the news and doing televised interviews about it. They were just an over the top couple in general. Like the one time they caused a scene on the red carpet and ran away from the cameras. I don't know if you guys remember that. But the two of them split not long after their engagement because news broke that Ariana Grande's ex-boyfriend Mac Miller had passed away. Since then, she's gone on to make jokes about their engagement in her lyrics, and he's made jokes about her in his comedy Netflix special. And at number 9, Chrissy Teigen and John Legend. This couple is incredibly controversial. A lot of people love the pair and think that they complement each other perfectly, but a lot more dislike them, especially Chrissy Teigen. Now that Chrissy has been officially cancelled off the internet and lost a lot of her followers as a result of her problematic behavior, fans are looking more critically at John. Many are wondering if John is similar to Chrissy behind the scenes and not as nice as he seems. I guess we'll have to wait and see for that one. Many people are also incredibly annoyed by the couple, specifically how they always try to seem so down to earth and relatable, when they actually live an incredibly lavish life that most people cannot relate at all to. And at number 9, Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis. Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis shocked the world when they revealed that they don't bathe their kids unless they are visibly dirty. They revealed this on the Armchair Expert podcast, saying they only gave their kids baths as infants when they could, quote, see dirt on them. Adding, quote, when I had children, I also didn't wash them every day. I wasn't that parent that bathed my newborns. Shepard agreed, adding that people, quote, should not be getting rid of their natural oil on their skin with a bar of soap every day. Kunis said the decision related to her poor upbringing, saying she didn't shower shower much as a kid.
Cruising into number 8 is Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban. Another adorable Hollywood couple that surprised fans after they had a tiff on a red carpet. I feel like it's a rule of thumb that when you are doing a red carpet event, you leave your problems at the door, because if you don't, a camera is bound to catch you. Like, there is no way of escaping paparazzi on a red carpet event. And that is exactly what happened for these two. They had an awkward argument and camera captured Nicole giving Keith a look that every man does not want to see. Witnesses say they were dishing out insults to each other, but it didn't give away what the real cause of the argument was. The Daily Mail claimed that Keith was not happy because Nicole's career had gotten in the way of them spending time with their family in Australia. Their busy work schedules had kept them apart a lot, and it was just getting difficult for them to handle. Coming in next, number 9 is Sammy Sweetheart and Ronnie. Anyone who watched Jersey Shore knew how toxic these two were for each other, and their fights were too far pretty much every time. Before entering the Jersey Shore house, Ronnie said he had one rule, and that was to never fall in love at the Jersey Shore. But then he met Sammy and they quickly hooked up and started dating. It took no time at all for them to have a very hot and cold relationship. With a mix of alcohol, the temptation of other people, and 5 other roommates in the house, the two of them were always down each other's throats. Things got so bad that one fight led to Ronnie completely destroying her things and physically breaking her bed, trying to throw it off the top deck, and Sam was on it, like holding on for her life like a spider monkey. Basically, all her stuff was completely ruined. And because of their past relationship and how toxic it was, Sammy is the only housemate that has not returned to do the reboot series, which happened 6 years after that.
And at number 8, Justin Bieber and Hailey Baldwin. These two were on and off for a few years until they decided to officially get back together, then quickly get married. Since they got back together, Jelena shippers have tried to tear this couple apart. Fans also look very critically at their marriage and poke holes in whatever possible. However, the couple does give a lot of content that fuels these splitting rumors. The most recent thing that's raised eyebrows is this video going viral that looks like Justin is screaming at Hailey in public. From the video, it looks clearly like he is very angry with her. However, people that were there claim that's actually not what happened, and he was just trying to tell her a story, and I really hope that is the truth, because if he was yelling at her in public, that's just incredibly disrespectful. And at number 8, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Harry and Meghan are one of the most controversial couples ever, and their popularity is drastically different depending on where you ask. The couple were beloved in America and Britain until they decided to step back from their royal duties in 2020. Then they did their explosive interview with Oprah Winfrey, which completely tanked their approval ratings in Britain, with many Brits thinking the couple went too far and turned their backs on the royal family. According to a YouGov poll, 49% of Brits had a negative opinion of Harry, while only 43% had a positive view of him following the interview. Meghan was much worse. Only 29% of Brits liked her, while 69% did not. Many Brits also spoke out against the couple and condemned their decision to leave.
Swiping the number 8 spot is Shia LaBeouf and Mia Goth. In the last 8 years, they've been on and off on numerous occasions with some pretty nasty splits. They were even married at one point, but then got divorced, and after being apart for 2 years, they came back together just a few months ago. To say their fights were bad is an understatement, and the only reason we know this is because one of them was caught on camera. In 2015, a year before their wedding, they had a huge fight in Germany, and the video footage of the argument went viral online. Some fans were there when it happened and filmed the entire thing, and then stayed with Shia after Mia left in a cab. Shia said to the people on camera if he didn't walk away when he did, then he would have killed her. Later in the video, he even talked to the fans about purchasing a gun in Germany. It was honestly scary stuff, you guys. After I watched the footage, I was like, this is not something to joke about. However, this was all around the time that he was going through an alcohol addiction and also had multiple run-ins with the law. But they are back together, so let's hope that it's different this time around. Best of luck.
And at number 7, Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. When this couple got together, they were hated by the media because this union broke up the marriage between Brad and Jennifer Aniston. At first, they were hated, but then they seemed so in love, the public started to buy into their love story. That was until their divorce, when things got incredibly nasty between the couple, specifically the pair's custody battle over their children. Their divorce has actually been so drawn out that they needed to find a new judge to look over the case. As of now, Brad has been granted joint custody of the kids, much much to Angelina's dismay. So it seems the legal battle will continue until Angelina gets what she wants. And at number 7, Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez. This couple, referred to as Benifer, was huge back in the early 2000s. They started dating back in 2002 and were engaged months later. However, their romance did not last, and they ended up calling off their wedding only days before the ceremony. But following Jen's recent split from A-Rod, Benifer is back on, and they are more in love than ever. Last week, a Hollywood insider told People that the duo is, quote, madly in love, and are, quote, the loves of each other's lives, with another adding that they are doing everything possible to make things work out this time. Although the couple has lots of fans, they also have a lot of enemies. Many people think that both of them moved on too quickly from their last relationships and they're basically just rebounding with each other. Others even say they are doomed to the same fate as before. I guess time will tell with these two.
Sniping the number 7 spot is Jessica Simpson and John Mayer. It's easy to forget that they even dated back in 2006, but it is difficult to forget their epic balcony breakup. They dated for a year back in the day, but their on and off relationship was hard to keep up with, and sources called the relationship dysfunctional. One of their fights was caught on camera, and by the looks of it, Jessica was not having it. Whatever was going on, she was not into it. Apparently they were having a very heated argument during their vacation in Mexico, and the pictures actually captured them breaking up. After the images surfaced, it was confirmed that they split, but a source close to them told People that it was actually their 12th breakup. So no one really knew if they were serious or not. 12 breakups in a year? I mean, if that number's correct, you basically breaking up every month. That's crazy. Might as well just not even date. In spot number 7 is Kourtney Cox and Johnny McDade. They first started dating in 2014 and were engaged just 6 months later before they called it off in 2015. So a lot happened in just 1 year. Some would say that getting engaged that soon and ending it that quickly after is already too far for a couple. But then they got back together the following year in 2016, and they have been together ever since. But shortly after they rekindled their relationship, the paparazzi caught them on different occasions fighting in public. One time, a heated argument was caught while they were at a restaurant in West London. Every couple fights, let's be honest, but there seems to be a lot of on and off between them throughout the relationship. It just doesn't feel very certain. People have also wondered why they haven't gotten re-engaged by now, or even married if things are going strong this time, because they've been together for a few years now. 4 years. Again, like after the first thing.
And at number 6, Spencer Pratt and Heidi Montag. These two are one of the most hated reality TV couples ever because they betrayed their friend on TV. The worst part about this borderline evil couple is that they thought they were invincible, but quickly learned that that was not the case after the show ended. Because of their behavior on the show, they've been somewhat shunned from Hollywood, having to resort to D-level celebrity programming like I'm a celebrity, get me out of here. But one thing that holds true is their love for each other, and I guess the rest of the world hating on them has really brought them together. The two have remained married despite being both completely broke due to their frivolous spending in an effort to stay in the tabloids. And at number 6, Jason Oppenheim and Chriselle Staus. You may know Chriselle and Jason from the hit show Selling Sunset, where the co-workers' relationships were put to the test on screen. Well, it looks like the two are now dating, and the internet is going wild. While on the show, Chriselle got divorced from husband Justin Hartley, and it looks like she's found love again. What's even more interesting is that Jason did an interview with Page 6 and exclusively told the outlet that he most likely wouldn't date anyone who's a part of the show. However, that's clearly changed now. At the time, Jason said, quote, "I opened up another office in Newport Beach, so I'm stretched pretty thin right now. Dating is just not a priority for me right now." Is this a publicity stunt or the real deal? Guess we'll have to wait and see.
Rolling into number 6 is Jenna Dewan and Channing Tatum. When the two of them announced they were getting divorced, fans were devastated. But paparazzi had been warning media outlets for a while that the relationship had been struggling for some time. Photos surfaced not long before their announcement of them having an argument in a parking lot in Los Angeles. Apparently, Jenna was upset because Channing posted a racy picture of her on his Instagram. He posted a picture of her sleeping naked in bed and captioned it, "Nap time equals the best time." Obviously, you can't see like all her goodies, but like you can tell that she's naked. An iLooker said that Channing was trying to explain himself to Jenna, but she was just ignoring him and staring at her cell phone instead. We're moving on to number 6, and we have Kim Kardashian and Kris Humphries. Before Kanye West and Kim took over the media, Kim was once married to Kris Humphries for a whopping 72 days. We got to see a closer look at their relationship because everything was filmed for their reality show Keeping Up with the Kardashians. They were often spotted fighting. Even just before Kim filed for a divorce, the paparazzi caught them fighting and having a huge argument in a car in LA. She yelled at him and left him to find his own ride home. Footage from her reality show Kim and Kourtney Take New York also showed footage of Kim punching Kris. She described it as playful banter, but others started to deem it as domestic violence, and she faced a ton of backlash for it.
Halfway number 5, Justin Bieber and Selena Gomez. This on and off relationship was incredibly messy, and it kinda still is, even though they're not actually together anymore. They started out as teens in love, and it blossomed into a mature relationship. But during their off periods, they didn't hold back their dislike for the other. One time, Gomez ripped up a fan poster reading "Marry Justin Please" at one of her concerts. Also, Selena and Justin got into a public feud when Justin started posting photos of Sofia Richie on his Instagram, making it clear that him and Selena were not together anymore. Now that Justin has moved on to Hailey, the public has started a love triangle between the three of them. It seems that no matter what more happens, Justin and Selena will always be linked together. Halfway number 5, Massimo Giannulli and Lori Loughlin. This celebrity couple got intense backlash after it was revealed that they bribed their children's way into University of Southern California. The crime, now called the college admissions scandal, involved the couple paying $500,000 to consultant William Rick Singer to get their daughters Olivia Jade and Isabella Rose into the University of Southern California as fake rowing team recruits. There were even photos released showing the girls using rowing equipment, proving they were involved in the decision to cheat. Both parents were charged in the scandal and got time in prison. Lori Loughlin served 2 months in prison, while her husband Massimo served 5 months along with various fines. The couple's image has not recovered from the scandal, as many cannot believe that they decided to cheat while they are already in such a privileged position.
Halfway through our list is Kirsten Dunst and Garrett Hedlund. They met on set back in 2010 when working on the film On the Road. You wouldn't have thought anything about the relationship at first because they came across as a happy, normal couple. But one of their fights got a little out of control at a movie theater, and the paparazzi captured the whole thing. They were technically heading into a movie theater when they started arguing, and witnesses say they were yelling at each other but tried to yell more quietly after they noticed that people were listening. Their relationship lasted for 4 more years after this fight before they called it quits, and sources say that they were rocky for a while and had a lot of differences when it came to goals and personalities. They said that they weren't on the same page when it came to their future. So this whole movie theater thing just seems like a little snippet in the whole story. We've made it halfway through the countdown, and we have Jessie Nelson and Jake Rosh. Jessie was having the time of her life while at the release party for her girl group Little Mix. They were releasing their album called Get Weird, but by the end of the party she was left in tears after a huge fight with her fiance. They got into a heated argument during the event, causing Jake to leave, and Jessie sitting in a car with mascara running down her face. The end of the argument was caught on camera because tons of paparazzi were there for the event, and Jessie had a breakdown right in front of them. Turns out that Jake went to a local hotel alone, and she took a cab back to her hotel. But it seemed like they were able to shake it off very quickly because hours into the next morning they posted this affectionate photo on social media. To me, honestly, it just feels like a cover-up. I feel like people post a happy picture after an argument to like confirm like we're okay when they're not.
And at number 4, Chris Martin and Gwyneth Paltrow. This couple, specifically Gwyneth, was called out for being one of the most pretentious of all time. One thing that got them in a lot of heat was their quote conscious uncoupling. This was a new term that they invented to describe their divorce. They also named their daughter Apple, which got them even more heat in the press. Now that the couple is apart, many still express their dislike of Gwyneth because she has not toned down her pompous lifestyle. She's been mocked in the past for selling a candle that smells like her vajayjay, as well as an egg that's also supposed to go inside of a woman's private area for some reason. And at number 4, Kelly Clarkson and Brandon Blackstock. People are outraged following a new court decision that states that Kelly Clarkson will be forced to pay her ex-husband $200,000 a month in support. The decision is set to start April 1st, and the funds are $150,000 in spousal support, as well as an additional $45,000 in child support for their 2 kids. Not only that, but Kelly is also being forced to pay her husband's legal fees, which amount to $1.25 million. Apparently this is all fair because Kelly makes roughly $1.5 million in income per month, and the judge believes $200,000 is a fair share of her earnings. Following the divorce, her ex-husband Blac says he will be giving up his career as an entertainment manager and is pursuing a full-time career as a rancher on his Montana property. This order from the judge comes after Kelly requested that she be declared legally single among her ongoing divorce from Blac. And this decision has received a lot of backlash in the media.
Coming into number 4 is Simon Cowell and Lauren Silverman. Their relationship was a huge scandal, seeing as she was married to Simon's best friend, Andrew Silverman. But she got involved with Simon and ended up becoming the mother to their son, Eric. Though they have a beautiful family, their relationship hasn't always been roses and daisies. Some would say that their entire relationship was too far since Simon betrayed his best friend in order to have it. But they argued a lot about trust issues, and reports claimed that Lauren had an issue with Simon remaining close with some of his ex-girlfriends. Paparazzi captured them having a heated argument in the back of their SUV where they were screaming at each other and Lauren was in tears. I mean, we've all had some kind of heated argument about trust issues, I'm sure, but it's a lot harder to hide it when there's paparazzi following you around. Rolling into number 4 is Selena Gomez and Justin Bieber. It's hard to forget the constant on and off relationship they once had for many years. They started dating when they were young, so we could make more excuses that time around, but then they tried to rekindle the flame in 2012. TMZ reported that they went out on a dinner date and Selena left just 10 minutes in because of something Justin said, and when he tried to go to her house later, apparently she refused to let him in. Then, in 2014, they got into a public argument at an airport and she was seen stomping out of a van and throwing her purse on the ground. Justin refused to get out of the car for some time and they went through the airport separately. It's safe to say that it might be for the best that they didn't end up together, even though a lot of fans were really rooting for them. I was. At one point.
And at number 3, Shepard and Kristen Bell. This couple is either beloved or hated depending on who you ask. When talking to those that despise the couple, it seems that they like each person very much, just not them together. Apparently their detractors think they go overboard with the PDA and shove it down everyone's throats for publicity. The pair also appears in commercials and sponsorships as a pair, flaunting their family at every turn. On top of that, they have a tendency to overshare things that the public probably just doesn't need to know about. One example of this was when Kristen told Jimmy Kimmel that Dax had a vasectomy. And at number 3, Kourtney Kardashian and Travis Barker. These two have been hot and heavy since they started dating. At first everyone was incredibly happy that both of them found love, especially Kourtney, considering she went through hell with her last long-term partner, Scott Disick. But since it's now been months and the PDA has not slowed down, fans are just starting to get really annoyed. Recently, a video was leaked showing the pair at breakfast, with Kourtney straddling Travis at the table. Many felt this was way overboard and was completely inappropriate to do in public. Some comments on that post read, quote, "You can't tell me this isn't a publicity stunt when they're acting like 13-year-olds. Another fan commented, quote, "Come on, some PDA is fine, but this is too much. You never know if children are around either." Let me know your thoughts on this one below.
In our 3rd spot is Bradley Cooper and Irina Shanks. This is a perfect example of if looks could kill. The couple had people talking after they attended the Wimbledon men's final back in 2016. They were dressed to the dime and sitting in a crowd of people when they had a tense argument which happened to get caught on camera. The drama unfolded as the tennis match went on and the camera just panned across the crowd. One cameraman fixated on Irina, who was giving nasty looks at Bradley. Like literally, looks could kill, man. Someone sitting close to them told US Weekly that he whispered in her ear and she started wiping away tears from her eyes. Of course, the footage blew up on social media and people were quick to point out that if they had an issue, they should have just left. In the 3rd spot is Beyonce and Jay-Z. They seem to have successfully pulled through a rough patch in their marriage after Jay-Z admitted to cheating on her. But there was a time when people thought they were not gonna make it after pictures were surfacing of them fighting in public during a dinner. But these pictures came right after an infamous elevator fight between Jay-Z and Beyonce's sister, which was all caught on camera. The surveillance footage from an elevator captured her sister physically attacking Jay-Z, and fans thought it was about the cheating scandal that had gone on. The whole thing was really intense and it actually caused a lot of chaos in the media and in their marriage, I'm sure. Beyonce released her album Lemonade shortly after all of this, which basically confirmed the affair publicly and how they chose to work through it.
And at number 2, Cardi B and Offset. These two are another tumultuous couple that people love to hate. And we know way too much about their relationship because it seems that Cardi shares it online whenever she can. This couple had gotten engaged, then broke up, then Chyna got back together and had a child together, then Cardi revealed that she was filing for divorce. But the pair got back together and even have a second child now on the way. Throughout their relationship, it's been revealed that Offset cheated a number of times. Apparently the cheating was the cause for a lot of the breakups. And now that the couple is back together, many of Cardi's fans are not happy and think she should be with someone that treats her right. Cardi even deactivated her Twitter at one point because she was flooded with fans telling her to leave Offset. She responded in a long rant, saying in part, quote, "If I work things out, why are you going to Offset's Twitter to harass him?" Adding, quote, "A bunch of 15-year-olds telling me how to live my life like a mother effin' Ariana Grande or something," finishing off that she does whatever she wants to do and she's not at the mercy of her fan base. But obviously her fans just want the best for her. And at number 2, Angelina Jolie and Billy Bob Thornton. This couple got a lot of attention for their decision to wear necklaces containing the other's blood on a red carpet. Media outlets even claim the necklaces contain vials of their blood. But years later, Thornton says that the whole thing was blown out of proportion. He says it was just a simple idea that the pair pricked their fingers and smeared some blood in the necklaces so they would have it while they were away from each other. Adding, quote, "It was that easy, but by the time it came out in the press, it sounded like we were wearing a bucket of blood around our necks." Apparently Angelina thought it would be romantic and similar to how parents wear a locket with their baby's hair in it. Honestly, I still think this one is really strange though.
Making their way into number 2 is Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner. These pictures actually broke my heart because Jennifer looks so heartbroken and sad. Photos were captured of them arguing in their car after they dropped off their 3 kids at school. Things got so intense that Jennifer was brought to tears. I mean, what could you possibly be fighting about at 8 a.m. in the school parking lot with a bunch of other teachers and parents surrounding your car? Yeah. I don't get it. An onlooker told In Touch, "There was a lot of gesturing and it seemed intense. Jen looked really upset, like she was crying. Ben seemed both detached and at other times he was reaching out to her." Apparently, no tea, no shade, but they had issues for a while, which is why they announced their separation in June 2015. Why they got separated was, rumor has it, that Ben had cheated with their former nanny. So that would have me crying at 8 a.m. in my school parking lot if that was, connected. Sniping number 2 on our list is Emma Roberts and Evan Peters. I never followed this couple much, but everything I did see of them in the media was always bad, so I just knew of them for being very toxic. They were together for a long time. They started dating after they met on set in 2012, and only a year into the relationship, Emma was arrested on domestic battery charges. A fight broke out between them, and it resulted in Evan getting a bloody nose. Camera caught them having a brutal argument at a Comic-Con party in 2014, where Emma was crying and screaming at Evan in the midst of a large group of people. Then, down the road in 2017, there were cheating rumors going around about Emma with another actor, Hayden Christensen, and they were spotted fighting again in public. Honestly, there's just way too many fights to name, but domestic battery charges is enough to land them on this list.
And finally, number 1, Anthony Weiner and Uma Abdian. This couple had a very rocky relationship because politician Anthony Weiner was doing too much gross and illegal stuff to even name in this video. The high-powered couple were doing great in their careers together, but everything changed in 2017 when Weiner was sentenced to 21 months in prison for sending images to a teenager. But that's not even the tip of the iceberg when it comes to his extracurricular activities. He accidentally tweeted out a photo of his crotch to all of his followers, along with sending nude images of himself to a handful of other women. At first, Uma stood by her husband, but in 2018, the two divorced. In a crazy twist of fate, Uma would go on to work for Hillary Clinton. The Clinton email scandal would later be exposed because of the ties that Clinton had to Weiner through her trusted advisor, Uma. And finally, number 1, Tommy Lee and Brittany Furlan. This couple is pretty wild, and they're known for making fans a little uncomfortable. This was the case recently when Brittany revealed that her and Tommy are being haunted by a ghost. Brittany shared this on her TikTok. In the video, she told her trash can to open up if a spirit was present. At first, nothing happened, but then the trash can opened to the shock of Tommy Lee. Brittany then explained that they are renting this place while their home is going through some renovations, and they recently learned that the man that lived there before them died of a heart attack in the house. After this, she started addressing the spirit as Tom, and the spirit was much more responsive. Tommy can be heard yelling, quote, "What is happening, dude?" before covering his eyes in disbelief.
Earning the number 1 place is Charles Saatchi and Nigella Lawson. This one caused some serious chaos online when photos of an argument started to go viral. Their marriage has always been high profile, and one of their fights was captured as they were dining on Mount Street in London. A photographer spotted them and started to snap pictures, and one of them film was enough to lead them to divorce. The photographer captured and witnessed Charles grabbing Nigella's throat. He said, "I saw her lurch violently backwards. I thought Charles was demonstrating something. It lasted about 30 seconds. Then he did it a second time. It was so violent with such force that her head snapped backwards." A month after this incident, they announced that they were getting a divorce. Rightfully so. I would have just swung. I honestly, seeing those pictures, it just makes me want to get in there. Finally, at number 1, we have Chris Brown and Rihanna. If you already know the story between them, then you would understand why they are taking number 1 on this list. I mean, what a nightmare that whole thing was. At one point, they were one of the cutest couples in Hollywood, but then things went horribly wrong when Chris laid his hands on Rihanna, causing injuries both physically and mentally. People will never forget the fight between them that happened at the Grammys in 2009 when they had a screaming match inside a rented car, which ended up turning violent. Photos of her battered face went viral, and Chris was later charged with assault. Even after the fight, they did continue to date, which really surprised people. They were on and off between 2012 and 2013, but then they finally realized that they could not maintain a healthy relationship.